Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and I know I'm in a different place today. I'm usually sitting up there blocking the chat, but at least in this video it is kind of relevant. Well, I say that, but the AMX 5100 seems to be slightly confused, and a quick dab of the tab key showing this matchup. I can see why he's confused now. The enemy have got 3 tier 10 vehicles, including 1 tier 10 tank, the Object 907 on the enemy team. Hard one. Certainly this is about as good as the matchup can possibly get for him. However, I am playing in a tier 8 Japanese premium medium tank, the STA-2, which is a hell of a lot like the STA-1. It differs in a few ways. One way is recently they've buffed the mobility of the STA-2, and obviously as it's a premium vehicle you're going to be able to use your STB-1 crew in this vehicle like I do, and make some sweet credits from the game. But the focus of the video isn't really on the STA-2. The focus of the video is that I'm going to get myself into a confrontation very early in this replay. We'll have to see what tank it's going to be with. So immediately I spot an RU-251 Speerpanzer rushing across the north of the map, and I try to get out of the way of the Object 252U. But considering how we have 3 artillery, I want to take out that RU very quickly indeed. And I immediately noticed that by sitting in this location and looking for a shot into the RU-251, I've blocked an AMX 5100, and now I've blocked an AMX 5120. And just because I wanted to try and protect the artillery as much as I could and take out that RU-251, I already seem to have angered that 5100, and probably rightly so. It looks like he's been hit by maybe the Object 252U on the enemy team. And he fired one at me, but luckily it ricocheted. And I'm going to try and use these bushes to try and extend the view range out for our team, and oh gosh, oh here we go. Looks like I really upset that 5100 because he decides to push me out of cover. Now I guess I've got 2 decisions. One, I could go behind him, push him out of cover. I could return fire at him and slam a shell into him. But is that really going to help our chance to be able to win this game? Instead, I just drive alongside him, tried not to upset him any more than I've already done so, and I guess I turn the other cheek, right? I try to avoid a confrontation, avoid a fight with my own team. And yeah, you know, sometimes in World of Tanks, no matter what you do, there are going to be people that if you seem to even look at them, they're going to be offended and start shooting at you. And I would argue that I probably get more abuse in World of Tanks than a majority of players do. I also think I get a hell of a lot more love, and that's something that I never try and forget when I'm making content. I get loads of lovely messages in-game, you know, in my YouTube comments, during my stream. But there is obviously also a lot of, shall we say, not so nice stuff that comes along with it. But as long as I take it in equal measure, then it's fine. But what I'm trying to say is that while I might be different, a lot of you out there, I mean, how would you have reacted to that 5100 doing that? Shooting you in the first place? Would you have realized that you kind of blocked him? And it definitely was my fault. I mean, I was trying my best to try and stop the RU-251 from getting to our 3 self-propelled guns and shut him down before he got vision on them. Because in this kind of a matchup, especially when the enemy have just got an extra tier 10 tank than us, those self-propelled guns could come very useful. But either way, I blocked him, I upset him, then he kind of decided to shoot me and push me out. That's definitely not great. But by ignoring him and now working with him, we're actually going to see some pretty cool stuff in this replay. So I'm firing at a defender here. I'm loading armor-piercing rounds there, and I realize that I'm never going to penetrate the front of the defender. I probably only got maybe like a 1 in 4 chance with a standard round. So I load a heat, but unfortunately it dips a little bit and goes at his lower plate. I look to try and fire the extra shell, but can you believe it? It bounces off his upper plate as well. And I've made a bit of a mistake here. I repair my tracks, but a 907 tracks me again and damages my engine. I'm at his mercy right now. He's done 1,000 damage to me oh so quickly, and I've only managed to penetrate him 1. Certainly not a great use of my hit points there, and I've lost my engine. Oh no, this T-44 seems to smell me weak in the water here, and he wants to come around like a shark and finish me off, but luckily I track him and hold him in place. I put a second round into him, he hits me, now I'm down to a 1 shot. And look at this, the 5100, the guy that I had the disagreement with, comes around the corner, makes the T-44 fall back, and he actually finishes him off. How absolutely amazing was that? I press my F5 key, affirmative, and I think I might even go as far as to say thank you 5100. Wow, the way some things turn out, right guys? And it's a jolly good thing that we got that 5100 in this game too, because without him there, I'm pretty sure we would be down a tank and they wouldn't have lost the T-44 on the enemy team. And the scores would be even now rather than us being up by 2 tanks. But how long will we stay up 2 tanks when there's a very dangerous Object 907 on the enemy team? really trying to deal with vehicles that are 2 tiers higher than you is certainly tricky, but it can also be the most rewarding, and we'll have to see if it pans out in the post-game stats. Remember, when you're shooting vehicles that are higher tier, while you don't get extra credits, you certainly, well, I don't believe you get extra credits, you certainly do get lots of extra experience. The biggest games that I ever see experience-wise in World of Tanks are usually lower tiered vehicles, especially ultra low tiered light tanks like the ELC AMX, or some low-tiered premium vehicles as well that do get insane experience multipliers shooting higher-tiered vehicles. So I don't know what that Lorraine 155-51 was doing. It looks like he wanted to try and come around the back and shoot at the UDES, but luckily I shut him down, and now I'm going to go after this defender. We've got a bit of a crunchy engine syndrome here as it's been damaged from that 907 shot and no repair kit to fix it. That Ferdinand rams a defender, and even though he only had 39 health left, the defender actually did no damage to the Ferdinand and ram. Put one shell into him, try and find his cupola. The defender finishes off the Ferdinand's lower plate, and now the UDES is actually behind the defender. Seeing that the defender has now turned around to deal with the UDES, will it be safe for me to use my 10 degrees of gun depression? Yeah, it is. Lovely shot there, right into a plate that would not be good to fire at unless I was above him. And immediately, we're having a pretty decent roll for our team here in this tier 10 game. 1,880 damage, 1,000 spotting as well. My tank might be mortally wounded, but hopefully it can just hold together for long enough to be able to get through this game, and I'm still there with Senior 50-100 here. So the UDES wants to go around the corner very aggressively, and I'm not sure if that's a very good place to take a UDES. Surely the artillery is going to be landing some bombs here, and even if he tries to handle himself, then the Charioteer and the 907 should be able to shut down that UDES ultra quick. So the 5100 is still reloading for 30 seconds. Good use of him by the F8 key there to tell his team what is going on. I finish off the Charioteer and the VK4502A marches forwards. Look at these tier 8 tanks getting so involved in this game and carrying it pretty hard towards the end. Even against this Object 907, who is going down swinging by the looks of it. He's on 4 kills. He only needs to put 2 more into the VK. The VK charges forwards to get a bit of a ram and does 72 damage, followed by 49 damage to him. Looks like the 5100 has now found his back as he puts one into him, or possibly it was the VK. Maybe the 5100 no longer has any shots. Will the VK be able to finish him off? Yes, he does. The Conqueror gun carriage narrowly missing me. That must have been a blind fire. He must have spotted me at the last possible moment. And it looks like maybe he wanted to take me out instead of going for the AMX 5100 or the VK4502A on our team, which, to be honest, would have been far better opportunities for him to take out. But he probably didn't know I had a damaged engine, but he certainly would have known how many hit points I was down to. So now we're advancing into the enemy base. 2 tier 10 Conqueror gun carriages to be able to take out. Where are they going to be? One's in the distance. I decide to make my way over, but oh gosh, there's one right there. Try to react as quickly as I can. Take his tracks out, but do you see how wide the gun arc is on that tier 10 British self-propelled gun? He can keep his gun pointing towards me even though his tank is pretty much angled at probably about 30 degrees to one side. But locking him in place, the VK charges him down. Looks like the VK was going to ram him, but not quite able to do so, and the artillery finishes him off. And one thing you might see as well in the bottom left-hand corner is that I tried to invite that 5100 to a platoon because we've picked up 3 kills each, and maybe we can get a cheeky Brothers in Arms medal. But unfortunately, it looks like I'll be forever alone as the AMX 5100 was suitably upset at my blocking to not accept the platoon invite at the end, or maybe he just had it disabled. Either way, this was a great game for the STA2. We finish on top of experience, 1,240, and there's the 5100 as well. He did more damage than me, but it doesn't look like he was spotting for himself, especially at the beginning of the game. And remember, you only get 50% of the experience if you're not spotting the target for yourself. We personally pick up 4 kills. Do we make a profit? Yeah, 43,000 credits, not too bad considering I did fire a couple of heat rounds at the Object 252 on the enemy team. And I bet you the Object 907 on the enemy team must have been kicking himself that he couldn't take that one down. That's possibly the greatest matchmaking I have ever seen for a tier 10 medium tank. And while I know this replay certainly didn't showcase the largest amount of damage, the most fantastic amount of kills, or the highest experience in my tier 8 Japanese premium medium tank, this was certainly one of the most memorable and thought-provoking games that I've played in a while. And so Hitakiri GG, I'm really sorry for blocking you, buddy, but I'm glad that we got through it together and carried this game irrelevant of the +2 matchmaking. And so hopefully all of you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please consider giving this video a like, and let me know in the comments if you've ever had any moments like this in World of Tanks where you've had a disagreement with a player on your team, but you both get over it to be able to get the job done. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon